Guess I'm live now. Hey, what's up? This is George Shamoun, and I want to welcome you to this live stream. If you're joining in, let me know where you're tuning in from and what's your name, or say hi just to make sure you can hear me and see me. In this live presentation, I'm gonna go over a brief example of how to use CSS animation. If you're starting to code a web page in using HTML and CSS, this is one of the important elements that you should learn, and it's not that difficult how to make CSS animation. And animation is very important. This way, the page does not look static. Nothing is moving on it, and you don't even have to know JavaScript. You immediately type the example I'm going to show you, and then you can create some animation on a web page using HTML and CSS. So if you're let me know if you have any questions about HTML, CSS, and how to start learning those to make a web page from scratch, or edit an existing page that you already have or you intend to build. There is no need to code from scratch, but it's good to know some of the examples how to use HTML and CSS if you want to get into web development, or if you want to hire somebody to make to make a website for you, if you want to contract it out. And I figured I'll make this video now before it gets too late, because I want to squeeze it in before I go to bed. And yeah, I'm not sure if you're gonna be on this live stream, and if you're not, if you're gonna be in the future on it, on a future replay, you can also submit a question, and I will answer you whenever. I'll keep watching the comments, within the next couple days. So again, my name is George Shamoun, and in this video we're talking about the animation and how to use it. Just an example in CSS, and let me show you this example here. And you can ask me questions while you're watching. And so I'm gonna show you this one. It's a very simple HTML page, and this is the output on a live server, and I'm using Visual Studio Code. This is Visual Studio Code. It's a code editor, and I recommend using it if you're learning how to code. And this is this is right here, the example I'm gonna show you in a minute. And let's look at what do you have here. So let's say if you look here at the files, obviously you need an index.html page, and then you have the CSS file. That's all what I have. It's very simple. And then if you go to the HTML page, that's all what I have is a box1 with ID, box div with ID box1, and then I have a text inside it, the I am box1, it says. And if you look at it, this is the live server here, but it's not animating yet. I will animate it in 1 second. And so let's go to the CSS. And this is the CSS page, and this is the code that animates that box here. And I will run it in 1 minute, but let me go over the CSS first. So if you look on the top, this is box1 styling, and then you have the font type, the size, the background color, the original one, and you have the border, the width, the sizes, and some margin. This is a very basic box. It's right here. And so then the animation code is right here below it. So this is box1, and the format of it, this is one of the simple formats. Obviously you can change it, you can upgrade it, you can make it more complicated, but this example is very simple, and I will run it in 1 second. But let's go over it yet. The way you have it is, first in a box1 you put those variables. First, you have to have the animation dash name, and you give your animation a name. I called it my move this time. And then you can add the animation duration, how long you have the animation, you need the animation to last. I want it to 20 seconds. And then the animation delay is 5 seconds, and that means it will start in 5 seconds. And do not use 0. If you use 0, it's not gonna work. It does not take off. You have to use 1 and more, any number over 0 seconds or milliseconds. And then you have the animation iteration count to 20. In this case, I want it to run 20 times. So if you can run it 1 or more, if you put 0, it's not gonna run. So you have to be careful about this. Now, this is the first part of the animation properties. The animation name, duration, delay, animation iteration count. And then you close the braces here and you open another one. This will go with it. It has to work with this one. One does not work by itself. So the second set of properties is the keyframe. The add keyframe and then space, you specify the name of the animation from the previous step here, from the previous code. In this case, it's my move. So you add my move and then you open parentheses here or braces, and you close the braces, and in between you add the properties that you want them to happen at certain instances. That's why they call them keyframe, like keyframe at 25%, 50%, 70%. These changes will cause the animation. So I will show you in 1 second. So first, the original is 0, is blue. This is the original state of the box. It's a blue, background blue, and these are the variation, and that's the way it is now. That's the original state. Now, once I start running the animation, it's gonna start with this here, 25%. It means it's gonna change from its initial state and run 25% of the time, and it's gonna behave this way. It's gonna have the margin left, whatever I specified. So it's gonna be blue first, and then it's gonna move to 100. And then at 50%, the 50% also how long it's running at 50%. I'm gonna assume it's the timing here. Again, margin, 500 pixel background color, you specify the color, what's gonna happen at this keyframe. And then 75% at this keyframe, I want it to be away from the left side of the browser, 500 pixel. I want the background color to be yellow. The last one is at 100%. I want the margin to be 100 and then background purple. So I'm gonna run it now. Let's see how it runs. So if you look at it here, and this is how it's gonna run, this animation. So let me just reload it. And if I reload it, you can look at it now. It's gonna start running in, okay, let me just load it again. Open server. Okay, now it's gonna start running. So if you look at it here, if you notice it's moving now, it's moving slowly going down, and then it's moving to the right side, changing color, then it's moving up, changing color again, and it's going towards the yellow, then it's moving to the left side and turning purple. And then it's doing it another time because I specified the count, the animation iteration count to 20. So every time it's gonna go through this process. So you can, if you specify 1 time, it's gonna run 1 time only. If you specify 2 times, obviously it's gonna run 2 times. It's gonna go through the same cycle like 2, 3 times. It depends how do you specify, how much you specify in the count here. It says count. I have it at 20 now. So it's gonna keep running 20 times. And if you look, it says animation duration. So the whole cycle, it will take 20 seconds. And the delay, the animation delay, it will take 5 seconds to start in the beginning. And those, you can change those variables here. And then, as I mentioned before, at the keyframe, you can change those, and those keyframe will specify what's going to happen during the cycle of the animation. And let's look at it. It's still running because I specified it at 20. So, guys, if you're tuning in on this live stream, please let me know where you're tuning in from, or say hi at least. This way I know somebody is watching. And make sure you ask any questions. If you have any question about this animation that I'm running now, let me know so I can answer you on this live stream. Again, this is George Shamon, and I am running this live stream now, and I'm creating a simple animation in CSS, and I am discussing how it's running, and how you compose it in the code editor in Visual Studio Code, and how it runs on the screen using the live server. So if you have any question, let me know. Submit it in a comment box, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you like this content about making web pages and other software I discuss of my on my channel, because I'm trying to grow the channel and I need your help. And in return, I will help you answer questions if you're on a live stream. Even if you are on a future replay, I can answer you too. So, but make sure you submit your questions or topics or comments, whatever you want me to talk about, and make sure it's a good comment and constructive criticism, not something bad, because some people are leaving bad comments, which I don't like. So again, let me show you what's going on here on the screen. The animation is still running, and this is, we're talking about CSS animation. So guys, let me know if you have any questions in the comment box. So about this CSS animation, this is a very important to know if you're learning how to code, because it will add some moving elements to your web page instead of having a static web page. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. So again, this is George Shamon. I'm coming to you live from the US state of South Dakota, and we are discussing CSS animation. If you have any questions, submit it in a comment, and let me know if you have any topics you like to learn about and you want me to discuss it. So, and this animation is still running, if you notice on the screen here, because I specified it to run 20 times and it didn't finish. And as you notice, this box is moving, and as it moves, it changes color. And this is what I specified in a code, so you can do a lot with CSS animation, even if you don't know JavaScript. Just with HTML5 and CSS3, you can do a lot. So yeah, and those colors and changes and variables, I specify them in a code here. And as I mentioned before, you can adjust the animation duration, how long you want the animation to happen, and the animation delay, when you want it to start after you activate the code, and how many times you want the animation to run using the animation iteration count property. And then you specify the keyframe here, the keyframe, and you add the name of the animation, and you specify the properties that you want them to run to create this animation. Again, if you have any questions, submit it in a comment and let me know if you're interested in more videos similar to this one, or if you have any questions about this specific code that I just created now. And it's not that difficult. You can learn CSS animation quickly. Once you know the principle, you can then make your own example and change it. So let me know if you have any questions, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm trying to grow it and I need your help to keep motivation and getting motivated and making those videos. Yeah, so also there are, you can use CSS transition. The transition is a tuned down version of the animation, but it doesn't do a lot. You cannot fine tune it, and you cannot add so many variables. You cannot control it like the animation I'm talking about now. The transition is very simple, two states or three states, but the animation is much better because you have control on so many elements like the animation duration, the animation delay when you want it to start, and the animation iteration, how many times you want the animation to happen. So again, make sure if you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe to the channel so so I can answer you on those live streams or when you add a comment in a box. And make sure you let me know if you're interested in other topics similar to this one so I can make more videos. That will be very very important and helpful to me. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so I can grow it and make more videos because, yeah. Any questions, comments? Let me know if you have any questions so I can answer them now on this live stream. I'm coming to you live from the US state of South Dakota. It's almost midnight, Tuesday night, August 13. So, questions, comments, topics you want me to discuss, let me know what topics you want me to discuss. Is we're talking about HTML, CSS, and how to make simple examples, simple web pages. If you have any question, let me know so I can answer you right now on this live stream. We're talking about creating animation example in HTML, CSS, and I showed you one on the screen. If you have any questions, let me know so I can answer you now on this live stream. Otherwise, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. And even if you are on a future replay, I will answer you to just drop a comment in a box and say hi or ask a question so I know that you're interested in this topic. Or if you're not, let me know what other videos you like to see. So, again, my name is George Shamon, and I'm coming to you live from the U.S. state of South Dakota. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Are you in the U.S.? If so, what state are you tuning in from? If you're overseas, what country are you tuning in from? I'm very interested to know my reach on this channel. And yeah, what else? Questions, comments, topics you want me to discuss, let me know. Yeah, this is one of the skills that's good to learn, how to make a web page or a website. Even if you don't know how to code, coding will help you to edit uh, part of a web page, or create some customization. You don't have to learn it. You can create websites and web pages nowadays without using a single line of code. But if you learn how to code, you'll have better understanding of how a web page and website is built. And yeah, I guess no questions coming in. Nobody is asking any questions. I guess people coming in and out, tuning in and out. That's it. So. Yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll make another one about transition or yeah, but the animation is much you can do more with the animation. It's much better to have animation than transition. Transition is it's not that you don't have a lot of control over the animation. You have control on so many elements, on the duration, on the iteration, how many it's gonna go, how long it takes, what's the delay. The delay, it means when you want the animation to start. You can specify after how long you want the animation to start after you activate the code in live server, and the iteration, how many times you want it, and you can also specify the total time of the animation. So hey guys, let me know if you have any questions. Submit it in a comment if you have any questions, so I can answer it now to help you. I'm talking about making animation in CSS and HTML. So if you have any questions, let me know. And also make sure you subscribe to this channel if you like this kind of content that I'm presenting and other topics on my channel. I always talk about other topics too, not only web page coding. I talk about Linux commands, making SVG files using Inkscape. I talk about the video editing software I use, and making web pages, websites, tools, email marketing. I cover about 6 topics on my channel, and these can help if you wanna expand your knowledge and skills. It doesn't matter what kind of work you do. It's good to know some basic skills in the technology nowadays, because everything is online, and things are not difficult if you spend some time to learn them. But now our topic is about the CSS animation example that I showed you. And if you're coming on this live stream right now, you're tuning in, you can go watch it later on, go back to the replay, and from the beginning if you want to watch the CSS animation I showed you before. And if you want to, if you have any questions, you want me to show you again what I want, what's the code, I can show you now on the screen. But I just need to know somebody, if somebody is here tuning in, and if you have any questions. I mean, I see a couple people, but no comments, no questions, no. Guys, make sure you introduce yourself or let me know where you're tuning in from. Just say hi, drop hi in the comments, so I know somebody is watching. And I want to make sure you can hear me well, and you're able to see the screen that I showed you before. And yeah, let me know if you have any question about the code I just ran now, the animation, so I can, show it to you again, or I can make changes to it. So I made this animation where the box moves to different places, and then it goes back to its original location. And as it's moving, it's changing its color, and we specified the animation duration and the delay. We specify when it's gonna start, and then we specified how many times, which is the iteration, how many times you want the animation to run. In this case, we ran it for 20 times, and those can be adjusted, those variables. You can fine tune this animation using the variable I mentioned, the properties I mentioned, like the duration, the iteration, the delay, and so many elements. And then you specify in a separate code in CSS the keyframe. You add at keyframe, then you enter your properties depending what you want the code to do, what you want the animation to do for you. You want the box, you want a circle, you want it to move around, you want it to change color. It depends what you want it to do. So yeah, this is very important to learn, because basically you're adding some, animation to a page, some elements that can move around and do things without using JavaScript. So that's only, we're talking about only HTML5 and CSS3. You didn't even start with JavaScript, because sometimes you can do a lot with CSS, and once you learn JavaScript to create certain tasks, JavaScript is very difficult. It takes time. But you want to make sure you can do things in CSS, because sometimes you go to JavaScript to create animation or other interactivity, and then you'll find out that it could be done with the CSS. I mean, we're talking about simple interactivity, not complicated ones, because once you get more complex interactivity, you need JavaScript. But sometimes JavaScript is over qualified for certain tasks that you can do with CSS. So you don't want to go through complicated learning and creating codes, and you don't need it. So make sure, that's why I keep saying, make sure before you jump to learn JavaScript, learn HTML, CSS, CSS3, and learn them well, to be comfortable with them. And nobody can be too comfortable. You're not going to be able to remember everything and know everything, but learn where to find information to help you create a code. And this is one of the, I went over two resources yesterday. The first resource is w3schools.com, and the other one is developer.mozilla.org. Those two platforms are very, they have a lot of abundance of information about code and examples, and they're free. Both of them are free. And my favorite one out of those two is the W3 Schools. It has a platform when you can enter the code, and it can show you how to use the code. It'll give you examples, and it's very detailed and simplified. And it has a search engine. Once you go to w3schools.com, you go to the search box on the top, and you can search any code you're looking for. And they have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and other languages. But at this level now, at this point, I'm only interested in HTML, CSS, So as I started learning JavaScript, but I'm taking my time because it's difficult. I want to make sure I understand it. I don't want to rush through it. So, yeah, HTML, CSS, you can find a lot of resources on those platforms, and they're free. I prefer them over books, because you can buy books from the bookstore or online and for coding. But I found out some of the books are complicated. They're not simple. But if you go to those websites, they're geared towards teaching you how to code. And they're very simplified, and you can do a search. If you have a book, you're not going to be able to do a search, and you don't have the abundance of information online or on websites, like those resources. So yeah, so that's what it is. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. And if you're tuning in, make sure you add a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Say hi. And if you have any questions you want me to answer it now on this live stream, I'll be happy to do that. If not, if you are on a live, on a future replay, I want to thank you so much also for reviewing the video. And let me know if you have any questions. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I need your help to grow it. And in return, I will help you answer questions and make videos according to your request. And also, I have over about 200 videos on my channel. You can learn about Linux commands, obviously HTML, CSS. You can learn about Inkscape uh, and making simple video editing. And but in video editing, I'm weak. I'm not good when it comes to video editing. I'm not that strong. But I know Linux more, and HTML, CSS, and more. So Yeah, I want to welcome you guys to this live stream and thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, submit it in the comment and let me know what's going on. Because I went through this example and I don't have any other topics or details. I'm just hanging around, for a few minutes in case somebody have a question so I can help you. If not, we're gonna have to wrap it up and we'll do another session maybe tomorrow. And depending on what questions somebody might want me to answer or any topics you like me to. Okay, I guess there's no questions coming in and no comments, and I'm done. I'll give it 1 more minute or 2 minutes for some if somebody have a question, and then I have to wrap it up because people, it looks like they tune in and out, and there's no questions or comments to. All right. Okay. I want to thank you so much for tuning in if you were on this live stream. And if you are on a replay in the future, I want to thank you so much too. Make sure you submit a comment or a question about this video or about other topics that I cover on my channel. And with that said, I want to thank you, and we can wrap it up for maybe tomorrow. We'll have another live. If you want to make sure you subscribe if you don't want to miss those live streams and you're interested in those topics. Thank you. That's it for now. All right.